Hi everyone, welcome to Drive and Fail 79. This is something we all see commonly. People switching on the hazard lights and thinking they can do anything.
Jesus Christ.
To bother us all, and secondly, we're having a makeover.
What are you doing?
It looks as though that driver was on the way to an Uber interview. It was a good shout to get out of there, but holding back and waiting would have been another option. Just don't wait behind them.
Jesus Christ.
My viewer spotted this trailer. Have a look how it seems to be running. It's a little jittery. My viewer opens up the gap, and it was a good job.
So I just loved everything about it, and then I started getting lessons, and I didn't really like lessons, and I wasn't very good at lessons, but I did get my theory, and I went through the whole rigmarole. And then I never really got that brilliant at piano. It was never that natural. But when I was 15, there was, you get your free periods to study for exams. I would always just go up to the music department and nick a guitar from the guitar teacher and started teaching myself guitar. And to his credit, he never tried to pressure me into getting lessons. He just said, take the guitar, off you go. And I just taught myself, and that was the instrument where I was like, okay.
Is this drive it like you stole it, or drive it like you just crashed it and didn't stop? Without doubt, it's not VFO footage quality, but there's definitely something untoward going on here.
Holy Christ. Not her.
Right, I'm putting you down, I need to call the police.
Here's some VFO footage, and here's a vehicle travelling the wrong way down a dual carriageway.
Ooh. You come up the wrong side of the road.
This 2014 BMW 640D is something that when it was new was a lot of money, but nowadays it's much more affordable, and it might be something that you'd be looking at for your purchase. Using this Car Vertical report today, I'm going to quickly and easily show you just why I wouldn't choose this vehicle. As with many of these reports that I look at, there are photos, and this damage doesn't seem to be too bad. It's definitely repairable. The airbags have been deployed, but the damage does seem to be limited to just the front end. Someone could easily fix this. The rest of the report checks out perfectly. It's not been stolen, the mileage checks out, and there's no financial or legal status problems. But it's the information in the timeline which would have put me off, and it's specifically regarding the MOT tests. Let's have a look at it. The first one. It's a failed inspection, and the first point is rear tyres of different sizes are fitted to the same axle. Next one. Near side front tyre worn close to the legal limit. Next one. Offside rear tyre worn close to the legal limit. I'm sure you're starting to get the picture. This car has not been looked after well, and it's the basic things that have been neglected. What's the rest of the servicing been like over the last 11 or 12 years? The information on this report would make me walk away. BMWs are expensive vehicles to maintain, and I'm sure there's better examples. Remember, if you're checking out your next potential purchase, check it out on Car Vertical. Use the code Ashley or the links in the description and you can save yourself 20%. Thanks, Car Vertical. Have a look when Smiler Bob comes round this corner how many people queue behind the parked vehicle on the right. The best bit is the next one moves up. And now the penny's dropped. Have a look at the vehicle that's in front of my viewer. It's sort of in between a car and a bicycle, I think. But does that mean it can do what it does next? Is this a fail, or is this perfectly legitimate? Watch this lorry up ahead on the left. Do you think that load should have been covered as well as being tied down? I've only ever had a situation like this pass me once in all the years I've been driving.
I can't see it. Just hit and run. The police are after him. Police case, Molly. Oh shit, I'm supposed to have to the police case. What did he hit? I don't know, but there's a massive scratch on the side of his car.
You won't might get one. Can he justify spending 30-40 quid a month on something I hardly use? Watch. Look at this idiot. It's a one-way street.
Wrong way down a one-way street.
I saw 30-40. What's up? What was that?
In situations like this, please don't assume that the oncoming traffic should be stopping. The Mercedes SUV could have a filter arrow and those lights could still be on green. However, this is definitely a red light jump. The driver that's behind the Mercedes clearly stops and the private hire continues. The paying passenger was oblivious to the risk that they were in. This left hook by the Tesla driver is ridiculous. Did you see how wide they went also? In this clip we're watching this white BMW driver on the left hand side and the motorcyclist coming from ahead. What are their feet doing? And if you look closely, it looks as though the helmet's faced to the left hand side. They're watching something over that way. The BMW driver is trying to turn round and possibly miss the motorcyclist because of the car behind my viewer. And if we go back to the motorcyclist, we can still see the face to the left hand side. But here it's also obvious that the left hand is not on the handlebars. No wonder they struggled slowing down and crashed into the white BMW. Thankfully, they do seem to get up quite quickly. We're going to be watching the driver of the Ford Focus behind, and they show some big impatience with this learner driver emerging onto the roundabout. I've sped the clip up to 8 times speed, but as you can see there's a constant flow, and there were no gaps that were possible to take. The driver behind reverses back, and you know what they're going to do next. But what direction do you think they will go? Terrible impatience, but we see it on a daily basis. This is obviously from the same instructor. Watch the vehicles from the left hand side. Yeah, that's right, that one overtook. Impatience can get the better of people regardless of who they're following, but it does happen more often when I'm in the driving school vehicle. People get really impatient with poor lane discipline, but in heavy traffic it's rarely going to get you further up the road. Watch the driver of the white Peugeot that's behind the red Corsa, and after everything that they do to try and get past, have a guess where they end up. There they go, exactly where they were. Well, for the time being. Some more impatience. My viewer moves out the way for the four-wheel drive. They must have been approaching behind quickly, because my viewer instantly moves back out because they're catching the vehicle in lane 2. No problems with my viewer's driving. Even at 8 times speed, we can see that the driver of the four-wheel drive is tailgating and pressurising vehicles that are in front of them. And after about 90 seconds, the vehicle in front has space to move to the left. And then the driver of the four-wheel drive does this. It's frightening to think we share the roads with some deranged people who are driving over 2 tons worth of metal. It does look as though the other driver bites back here though. My viewer does show some terrible lane discipline at the start of this clip. They don't overtake anyone for approximately a minute. They also had plenty of opportunities to move back to the left-hand side, but they don't. And it's this driving that winds up the black van behind. Even the silver vehicle from lane 1 moves to lane 2 and comes past my viewer. And this winds the van driver up even more. I think my viewer's trying to antagonise on purpose. The speeds come down from 100 km an hour to 80, and this actually happened when my viewer was near no one. Now watch how their speed increases again, and I couldn't spot any speed limit changes. Did I miss anything? The driver behind is even gesturing now to move over, and there was a clenched fist. Whatever my viewer's driving has been like, there is no reason whatsoever for what the driver of the van does. Yes, they get fed up, and yes, they undertake, but the brake check is absolutely horrendous. Rumour has it, my viewer's still in lane 3. And to finish, we've got a simple question. Was this the driver that saved this incident, or was it the Tesla? Keep safe everyone, I'll see you all soon.